Gunther versus Drew McIntyre. And this is, again, I have nothing bad to say about Gunther. I just love watching this guy because he reminds me of a Gene Kiniski, a fucking old-fashioned athlete that'll beat the shit out of you. And, but at the same time, we've talked about this. What's different about Drew? What's new about Drew? Cody has gotten massively over because he can talk and he has that twinkle in his eye and he can sell his ass off. Drew's big, he's strong, he does a decent promo. I've seen a lot of him for a few years now. They had a slobber knocker, but this is a Raw match without commercials, is it not? Because don't we see these guys wrestle on Raw quite often? Or matches like this?
Or matches like this. It feels like it.
It's not particularly new. There's nothing going wrong. There's nothing bad about it. But the crowd is not going batshit. And, you know, I think Gunther, again, is more efficient and more meaningful against a smaller baby face that he can bully and make fight from underneath. And you've got that dynamic. McIntyre's as tall and got a better body than Gunther. Gunther's a much better worker and that's not a knock because Gunther's a better worker than all but like 3 guys on the fucking roster. But they laid shit in, they meant it. It was physical. And finally, Drew got crotched on the top rope when they were fighting on the buckle, and Gunther hit a splash off the top and then spun him into a power bomb 1, 2, 3. And it was good and it was physical. It didn't tear the house down, but they're at least protecting Gunther's power bomb. Anything to add?
Not really. Drew McIntyre, I hate to say maybe he could use a few months off or a while off and
didn't he just have a few months off?
I think he did. I mean, that's the problem. He comes back and he didn't like his
creative. He wanted to sign a new deal. He wanted to know what he was doing and like it. Well, apparently they told him what he was going to do, and he better like it.
He's at that stage now, like, the mighty Hercules in 1989. Like, they have to do something. He's got a good body. He's in good shape. He's almost as big as Hogan, but he loses a lot, and he's not there. They got to do something with Drew, or he's got to do something. I don't know. It just there's nothing happening with him. Him and Sheamus are the guys that really feel the stalest to me. Sheamus has been there forever. He's been there for like 15 fucking years.
Yeah, I mean, think about this. In the territory days, you only saw a guy for 5 or 6 years straight in a territory if he was the fucking local top star and owned part of the company. Otherwise, guys changed every 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever.
The other day I actually went back and watched some of SummerSlam 89, because that was the first one I ever watched live as a kid. And watching the event, it's amazing how many of the guys on that show I think of as, when I think of them, I think of their WWF run as being the biggest thing of their career. And they were there for like 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah.
That was it. And then they were, in the territories before that. And then they went somewhere, either Japan or WCW or the Indies or nowhere after that. But their run was relatively short. Now you see all these guys with decade-long runs. It's incredible. But it's not always good for keeping the product fresh.
How can I miss you if you won't go away?